Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
Richmond Sabney.
And here we go with another show, news and community bulletin board. News you can use, we hope, and community bulletin board. Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute. Rich and his reviews. Right, Rich?
Oh, yeah, bunch of them.
Bunch of them. Very good. News for seniors, and then we'll wrap it up with Miriam Gennari, pardon me, Miriam, and her guest from the Republican Party. And that's our show. But here's a reminder before we go from my partner over here.
That's right, Craig. Arlington Weekly News is available at www.youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1 or Facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
YouTube and Facebook.
Facebook, we're in social media.
We're out there. Yeah. Check us out, YouTube and Facebook. All right, here we go with the first of our news stories. On Tuesday, February 5th, 25-year-old Javon Martin was convicted of first-degree murder and robbery. Martin was suspected of stabbing to death 57-year-old Arlington resident Carl Diener back in 2009. In 2012, Roger Clark, an accomplice, pleaded guilty to first-degree murder for his role in the Diener slaying. As you can see from the pictures, we have them up on the screen here, pictures of the vigil that occurred when he died. Carl Diener was a well-liked member of the Arlington community and will be missed, and glad that they have those suspects in custody. Daniel.
Shortly after Zales Jewelry Store in Pentagon City opened on Monday, that's February the 4th, it was robbed, and 4 men in hoodies entered the store between 11:15 and 12, smashed several jewelry cases with hammers, and then fled with almost $130,000 worth of jewelry. Despite officers arriving within minutes and surveillance footage, the men escaped and remain at large.
And also in our news items, County Board member Jay Fissette will run for re-election this year. Fissette formally announced his re-election run at the Arlington County Democratic Committee meeting. Fissette, who was elected to the board in 1997, becoming Virginia's first openly gay elected official. And we wish him well in his re-election bid. Daniel.
Arlington Economic Development, AED, is planning a new program to help local entrepreneurs launch their businesses. The Entrepreneur in Residence, or EIR program, will provide advice and guidance specifically tailored to their startup clients. The helpful information will come from fellow entrepreneurs, or EIRs. Each EIR will serve for 6 months to 1 year and will have regular office hours for counseling new startups. In exchange for their time and expertise, the counselors will receive office space at AED. You can read more about it at arlingtonvirginiausa.com. Visit them on the site, Craig.
All right, and another one of our news items, the Arlington County Scholarship Fund for Teachers is awarding $2,000 scholarships to graduating high school seniors interested in education careers. Seniors that are interested or who are interested must submit their completed applications to the respective high school counseling departments, the counselor, by March 13th. For information and an application form, see their website at acsfft.arlingtonccpta.org. We hope you got that website. Get those applications in by March 13th. Daniel.
Arlington County is looking for a diverse group of new recruits for its Neighborhood College program. Neighborhood College is a free 8-session course that will help residents learn about county government, how to become neighborhood advocates, and how to affect change. The sessions will be held each Thursday evening from April the 4th to May the 23rd. Applications for the 2013 Civic Leadership Development Program are due March the 4th, 2013. For information and applications, call 703-575-8152 or email the address that's on the screen. Craig.
All right, and another county fair is coming. 2013, not too far away, this August. To help get it together, Arlington County Fair Incorporated is looking for recruits to volunteer and also help with the fair. Arlington County Fair Incorporated, Inc., Arlington County Fair, Inc., has an all-volunteer board of directors. The volunteer board plans the county fair each year. They need someone who can work during the fair and get involved in planning activities. Details and applications are available at volunteer.trust.com. I hope that's right. You can also read the details at arlingtoncountyfair.us. The county fair will run from August 7th through the 11th. So if you're interested in helping out with the Arlington County Fair, that will be a great volunteer opportunity for you. Daniel.
The Arlington County Board has designated the Green Valley Pharmacy in the Knock neighborhood as the 33rd Arlington Historic District. Green Valley Pharmacy is the county's largest continuously operating African-American-owned pharmacy. Its owner, Dr. Leonard Moose, opened the pharmacy in 1952. That was a time of racial segregation in this area. Dr. Moose opened the pharmacy to serve African Americans who were not being served by the county's white-owned pharmacies.
It's a great old drugstore. I've actually been there. Have you been to that one? That's a great old drugstore down there in Green Valley. All right. Thanks, Daniel. Okay, we'll be back with our CBB file right after we hear from Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute. Here's Nort.
Hey, Nort.
Hi, I'm Nort Beckerman, the Brain Health Coach. I know that everyone has heard the word metabolism, but have you ever connected it with your brain? Did you know that your metabolism can affect the functioning of your brain and your cognitive abilities? Metabolism is the interface between what you eat and what you actually get in your blood. It's your metabolism that controls what foods are used and what goes into storage as fat. You eat and drink water to hydrate your brain, fruits and vegetables to provide it with antioxidants, fatty acids to provide building blocks to repair and rebuild brain tissue, protein to provide workers that get things done, and complex carbohydrates to provide the energy needed to make it all happen. Metabolism is responsible for converting what you eat and drink into amino acids, fatty acids, glucose, antioxidants. Water goes along for the ride. What you eat and drink affects the health of your brain and your cognitive abilities. What you eat and drink affects the functioning of your metabolism. But you are responsible for what you eat and drink. So if you watch what you eat and drink, metabolism will work for you and your cognitive abilities will flourish. I'm Nort Beckerman, the Brain Health Coach. I'll see you next time for a brain healthy moment.
Thank you very much, Nort.
Thanks, Nort.
Thank you.
Don't forget, it's never too late to train your brain. Get out there and train your brain and try to learn something new, once a month or something like that.
Once a day, once a day.
Well,
once a month.
depends on your age group. Okay, once a month is pretty aggressive for some of us. Okay, here we go with our CBB, Community Bulletin Board file. Are you interested in helping job seekers? The Columbia Pike Branch Library is looking for people to provide computer assistance to job seekers. Job will include assisting people in finding appropriate online applications. In addition, they would help people in using basic job search engines, resume formatting in Word, and resume builder software. The person would also monitor the use of the computer lab. For more information on this volunteer opportunity, 703-228-7688. Daniel.
Craig, be a library volunteer. Brighten someone's day by making sure they get what they want from the library. If there is an item someone wants but it isn't in their favorite library, they can request that and be sent to them. That's where you would come in, and your duties would include either going through the shelves and pulling the requested items or sending them to the location where they will be picked up. In the process, you will learn about all the great things the library has to offer. Call 703-228-7688 88. So be a member, Craig.
Get out there and help them out in the libraries. They need your help. All right, an important part of learning a new language is to practice speaking it. And if your first language is Arabic and you enjoy teaching others, consider leading the Arabic conversation group. Sessions are on Sunday afternoons. For all these library-related opportunities, you can call them at 703-228-7688. Daniel.
Arlington Free Clinic, that's AFC, is a primary source of health care for low-income, uninsured families in the county. A number of these families speak little English, and they need volunteers that will provide assistance with communications between clinic staff and patients, and possibly other volunteers. In a medical clinic environment, volunteers will work with a variety of medical and non-medical professionals. The Arlington Free Clinic AFC needs volunteers that speak Mongolian, as well as volunteers that speak Spanish. Almost 60% of AFC patients are Spanish speakers. If you are interested in being a volunteer that speaks either Mongolian or Spanish, call 703-979-1425, extension 125.
Okay, and some more volunteer opportunities from our CBB file. Today is the day for medical volunteers. We all know too well that emergencies can happen at any time. With the training that's provided, you can become a Medical Reserve Corps volunteer right here in Arlington. If you would like to help your community in an emergency, you need to talk to the folks at Medical Reserve Corps Volunteers of Arlington County. They are providing training on a variety of topics, including mass dispensing of medications, emergency preparedness, epidemiology, psychological first aid, CPR, first aid, AED, infection control, and a lot more. The training requires a 2-hour orientation session. If you are interested in this opportunity, look up the Medical Reserve Corps volunteer at volunteer.trust.com to submit your application. Daniel.
Well, Tuesday, February the 12th, Clarendon Courthouse community will celebrate their 15th annual Mardi Gras parade. The family-friendly event starts at 5 p.m. with a party at Boyup Bakery. The main event will begin at 8 p.m. along Wilson Boulevard from North Barton Street to Washington Boulevard. The Clarendon Courthouse Mardi Gras was the largest Mardi Gras parade in the D.C. area last year. There were 50 organizations participating. If you would like to volunteer or for other details, visit the website shown on your screen. Let the good times roll. Come join the fun, Craig.
Etouffee. All the way. Okay, we'll be back with our News for Seniors files right after we hear from Rich Masabny and his reviews. Here's Rich.
Hey, Rich.
Thank you, boys. Thank you. The Folger Theater is doing Shakespeare's Henry V. Now, in reviewing a theater for 25 years, this was the first time I ever saw an actor come on the last minute, the lead actor, and he's working with the script, talking to the other actors, and he had the script, and you're looking down, because the main guy, he got the flu, Zach Appelman, but a guy named Andrew Schwartz took over, and he did a wonderful job, Folger Theater. They'll be there for another month. They have phone numbers 202-544-7077, or check them at folger.edu/theater. Very good show. He did a great job. The McLean Community Players are doing Next to Normal. That's an award-winning show. It's being at the McLean Community Players in Alden, the Alden Theater. It's a different kind of musical because it's really about mental illness, and but with all that, it's not a downer. Surprisingly, I mean, there's songs in this thing that won't quit. Good singing, good acting. It's just terrific. I know one of the guys, Brent Stone, is the husband playing Dan, and Nikki McDonald plays Diana, the wife, and well, it's just a good show. And down there, and it'll be playing through February 16. And there's great musical direction, too, under a guy I know, David Rode. Anyway, it's thought-provoking. Check the McLeanPlayers.org for information. Call 703-790-9223 for tickets. I got to tell you, if I didn't mention it last week, one of the things that knocked me out was this Chinese group called Shen Yun Performing Arts. They were at the Kennedy Center. They just closed a couple of days ago. It's awesome. That's all I could tell you. And just unbelievable dancing and costumes and animation. Just wonderful. They come only here once a year. Then they travel. They got 3 companies traveling around the world. Anyway, if you want to know more about them, just remember them, Shen Yun Performing Arts, and their phone number is 1-888-974-3698. And you can look up their website of shenyun2013.org. They're located out of New York City, not mainland China or anywhere, because mainland China won't have them because they refer to God and things like that. It's a wonderful group. The Arlington Players are doing Out of Order. This is a farce, the best kind of farce, where the boss has his, Mr. Willie, has his secretary, who he's fooling around with, in his hotel room. But then it's complicated because there's some guy's dead, and then you know, one of those farces where the girl's running around at a slip throughout the show, and it's pretty good. Joshua Dickerson is Mr. Willie, and then Kat Sanchez is the gal in the slip, his secretary. John Allnut plays one of the guys, and Bill Karukas. I mean, I've known this guy for years, and Albert Coa, wonderful actors. They're in this thing. So anyway, Out of Order at 703-549-1063, or check the website, thearlingtonplayers.org. I got to tell you about a guy named Steve Ember. I've known him for years. I don't know if Craig knows him or not. We interviewed him here years ago. He works for the government, but he's a photographer, and he's been doing this for 28 years. He's got an exhibition. I went to see it the other night at that pizza restaurant, Italian restaurant in Roslyn, about 1500 block there of Wilson Boulevard, Piola's. And he has about 26 photographs of the Matterhorn and the Alps and snow and ice and everything else. Just wonderful. I'm just telling you, go down there and see this show. And the photographs are reasonably priced too. The phone number for anything about this, you can talk to Steve Ember, 703-451-6999, or look up, it's on the screen, there's a picture of him, steveember.com. And then finally, I want to tell you about a restaurant that I just think the world of. It's a Peruvian restaurant. It's over in Herndon. I was talking to my Peruvian friend here, Danielle, and he wants to know, all right, Danielle, what I think of it, you know. But Polis Inca in Herndon at 703-481-9090, and you can look up their website, polisinca.com. And Jorge Pedamonte is the owner, and a heck of a nice man, and everybody who works there is nice, and I like that. That's why I go to Herndon for my chicken, you see. It's real nice. How much more time we got? Because I got 14 more things to talk about. Oh, that's it. Okay, next week.
I think that's it,
Rich Masabny, next time.
Thanks, Rich. So you like Polis Incas, huh?
Yeah, nice.
Good chicken?
Oh, nice.
Do chicken a million ways.
Nice.
All right, thanks, Rich. Okay. Okay. Coming up next, this edition of the Arlington Weekly News, our News for Seniors file, and here we go. At Culpeper Garden Senior Center, they're hosting 4 two-hour DVD presentations about Abraham Lincoln, starting Tuesday, February 12, and running through February 15. Presentations will start at 1 in the afternoon on those dates. The programs will examine some of Lincoln's finest moments during the Civil War and discuss modern perspectives on his legacy. Register early for these FREE free programs at Culpeper Garden Senior Center. Give them a call, 703-228-4403. Daniel.
Not sure about how to go about conservation and recycling? Well, the program coming up at Walter Reed with Jorge Laura Housing Outreach Program Coordinator for Arlington's Department of Community Planning, Housing and Development, will help you out on Friday, February the 15th at 12 p.m. Inspector Laura will be at the Walter Reed Senior Center to meet with you and share practical tips on saving water and energy. He also has some great recycling ideas for home reusable items. Call Walter Reed to register for this free program at 703-228-0955.
Also on our News for Seniors file, hearing accurately is a major part of creating memories. Maria Doherty, from the Northern Virginia Resource Center for the Deaf and Hearing Impaired, will conduct hearing screening tests on Wednesday, February 13 at 10 in the morning at Lee Senior Center. She will also discuss how to cope with hearing loss. Call Lee Senior Center to sign up for this free program, 703-228-0555. Daniel.
Greg, what happened to your glasses?
Oh, I forgot my News for Seniors. I'll get them next time.
Next time.
Next one.
Well, attorneys from Legal Services of Northern Virginia will be providing free legal counsel to seniors in 2 sessions on Tuesday, February the 12th. The first session will be at Langston Brown Senior Center from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Call Langston Brown at 703-228-6300 for more information and to make an appointment. The second session will be at Lee Senior Center from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Call Lee at 703-228-0555 for details. Craig.
All right, where would I be without people to remind me about my News for Seniors glasses? Thank you, Daniel. Okay, rebuilding together, they're not helping me at all, is a national nonprofit group that repairs and upgrades homes of the elderly at no cost to the homeowner. To learn how seniors can qualify for this program, come and meet Patty Klein, Executive Director of Rebuilding Together, Thursday, February 14, which happens to be Valentine's Day, at 1 in the afternoon at Walter Reed Senior Center. For more information about this program, 703-228-0955. And as always, thanks to Judy Masabny of OSAP for helping us out and sending us these announcements. We appreciate it. Thanks for your efforts, Judy. Okay, wrapping it up now in this edition of the Arlington Weekly News, here is Miriam Gennari and her guest. Miriam.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now I'm here with Mark Kelly, a resident of the Arlington Ridge Civic Association, a member, and also formerly the chairman of the Arlington's Republican Party. Thanks for being with us, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, Mark, it's so important to have neighbors who are living in neighborhoods under development to come and speak. And since you are an outspoken person about lots of different issues in Arlington, what do you think about the Penn Place project that's happening in your neighborhood?
Well, you know, I've been tracking this a little bit, more so recently as more neighbors that I've talked to have raised concerns. A lot of people are concerned about the type of development that's going to be going on at Penn Place. Some people are concerned about traffic that's going to be caused by Penn Place. I know that something you're very concerned about is sustainability. And what concerns me even more than that is the dangerous precedent that we continue to allow to happen here in Arlington when our county board kind of rolls over the neighborhoods and basically says, well, we know you have very valid concerns, but we're going to do what we want to do and ignore what you all have to say.
Now let's just recap for those people who don't live in the neighborhood. There's a parcel of land in the open area where they had one point talked about building the Nationals ball field. And it's adjacent to Costco. It's a wide open space and they'd like to build secured office buildings.
Right.
Currently that's just zoned for residential and retail, but they would like to build secured office buildings.
Right.
And that's a concern.
Right, because they're building those because they're right across the highway from the Pentagon and they believe they have a natural client there.
It would seem so.
They're concerned about the height. They're going to basically double the height level that would be allowable there.
From 12 stories to 22,
right,
perhaps.
Right. So I think people are just very concerned about thousands and thousands of car trips that are going to come in, both from whether those cars would be diverted onto neighborhood streets and cause a safety concern. A lot of people are concerned about it from an environmental perspective. All very valid concerns, and something that the county has said in the past that concerns them as well. But when it comes to this parcel of land, they're looking at a couple things they might get from it. One, they've been looking for a place to put the streetcar line maintenance facility, and that's been offered, I believe, from the developer. And they've also offered an incentive of $20 million toward the aquatics facility that was authorized, the bonding was authorized by the voters last fall. So there's a lot wrapped up into this one project.
Well, and I know that there are traffic monitoring little lines going across all the streets trying to monitor the traffic. I think at 2,600 parking spaces right across from the Pentagon 395, that is certainly a congestion issue in that community. Has there been any discussion, as far as you're concerned, about how to make the project a sustainable one so that it benefits both the neighborhood and the community, and of course raises revenue for Arlington?
There has been some discussion. I know that a number of people have raised those concerns. An idea we talked about with maybe making some or all the parking spaces plug-in available. Those are certainly concerns people in the neighborhood have raised. I had one neighbor who said, with all the cars going through, she wished they would have built a baseball stadium there. It would have been less cars through during the year and less congestion for the neighborhood to worry about.
Strasburg too. I mean,
I know. Who knew the Nats were going to be this good? It might have changed people's minds.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Well, and then as far as the overall vision for not just Arlington, but Virginia and our energy demands, do you have any perspective about how we can create smart growth transportation options throughout Virginia without damaging the environment and also recognizing Governor McDonald's all of the above approach?
Well, I personally like the all of the above approach. I mean, I really think we're not at a place in the short term where we can just turn off the traditional sources of energy that we have. It's not realistic. So you have to look for ways to go into the mid, the medium and the long range. And I think eventually we're going to need alternative sources that maybe we haven't even thought of yet. So I think taking both the conservation perspective and doing things that we can, especially in a dense urban environment here, but also realizing we need to continue to power the things people are used to, and trying to look at it over the long view is a good idea.
And now another thing that's happening adjacent to the Penn Place project, but on the corner of Jefferson Davis and Glebe Road, is some work for the bus transit system near the water treatment plant.
Right.
Tell us about your thoughts on that.
Well, this is another case where we don't know if this is going to be a temporary or long-term issue where they'd be bringing buses in to very tight neighborhood streets. And they've raised a lot of concerns about that as well. I know many of my neighbors are concerned, so it's a big issue there as well.
Well, I hope that the Arlington Republican Party will stay on top of these issues and that you will as a citizen as well. I thank you for joining us today on the Sustainable Scoop, and I thank everyone for watching. I look forward to seeing you, and gentlemen, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Miriam, and for all you Republican fans out there, we hope you enjoyed that segment. And that's about a wrap for this week's edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Anything to add before we go, gentlemen?
No, everything looks good.
Everything looks good. Everything's fine. Bring in some food next week.
Yeah.
I know.
Right?
I
Okay.
mean,
You
have
keep
so many
saying
places.
that.
All right, we will.
One of these weeks.
I'll surprise
One of
you.
these days.
You bring the
right?
food,
One
I'll
of
bring
these
the
years.
wine. Okay, we got to wrap it up here. So before we go, another reminder, watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, youtube.com/Arlington.
We're out there on YouTube, and
also
next week
Facebook.
you be there and we'll be here, and we'll do it all again for another edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Have a safe week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.